Hi, everyone. Welcome in. I'm Melissa. Welcome to my channel. So, today I wanted to talk to you guys about motivation. You have a thought, you have an idea, something you want to implement and take action on. How many times do you follow through with that? Or how many times do you stop yourself in your tracks? When we want to do something and we stop ourselves, where is that coming from? Because we were all motivated about doing something, but then all of a sudden we changed our mind. Is it fear? Your limiting beliefs? You're not good enough? You're not smart enough? You don't have what it takes? Other people are doing it, so you shouldn't do it. Some of those thoughts are not yours. They come from the limiting beliefs that were programmed into your brain from the past. If you've lived your life in that frame, believing all of those things that were said, even if they weren't said directly to you, you adopted them and they sit in the brain. And I'll bet there have been times in your life that you've started something and not finished it and said, there's the evidence. I've started this, I never finished it. I've started this, I've never finished it. You've given yourself the proof that you can't do it. So, how do you change that? Well, changing it is first understanding that it is a limiting belief. There's nothing wrong with you. Nothing at all. You've just adopted and adapted to that limiting belief that was given to you probably so many years ago. You can do these things. It just takes some rewiring and getting out of your comfort zone. Because you've adapted to those beliefs, you've stayed comfortable. You've never stepped out, never stepped out the door to find out what's really out there for you. And once you do take that step and you do it, then you have proof that those limiting beliefs are false. And I'll bet you can look back in your life and find times, things that you've done outside of your comfort zone against what everybody else told you. And you've proven them wrong. You've proven yourself wrong. So think about that. Think about those times where you did step out and compare them to something that you're wanting to do right now. Because what you want to do right now is maybe new, you've never done it before. So you don't have any evidence, any concrete evidence that you will succeed or you will fail. No concrete evidence whatsoever on that because you've never done it. And if you shift the mind out of fear and into excitement, that changes the game. Something funny with me is I've been wanting to get up earlier. And I'm a daylight kind of person. I like to wake up when it's sunny. And I like to have the daylight around me. And it's been difficult. But if I'm going on vacation or doing something like that, I have no problem getting up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning to make a 6:30 flight. No problem. Because I have motivation behind it. I'm excited. I'm not fearful. when we don't have any motivation for our day outside of a vacation, it can get a little difficult to motivate yourself. That's where you have to go within and ask yourself if these limiting beliefs that you're still holding on to for so many years are really doing you any justice. And if they're not, then it's time to shift them. And like I said earlier, it's understanding where these limiting beliefs come from. So I did a little research. Motivation comes from different parts of the brain. The NACC is the driver of dopamine to prompt action. That's your reward center in your brain. The VTA houses the dopamine producing neurons that fire when you anticipate the reward. And the prefrontal cortex, cognitive control, helps you weigh the long-term goals against the immediate effort. So what do those mean? So the NACC is your reward center. Going on a trip, you're going on vacation, right? You're gonna get that. You're gonna have that. It's gonna be a great trip because you're excited about it. And the VTA will drive that dopamine rush to get you moving, get your whole nervous system in function and moving. And the cognitive control helps you weigh it out. Well, if I get up at 2:30, I'll make that flight. If I don't, I may not make that flight. So you're going to get up to make that flight because you're excited about your vacation. The prefrontal cortex helping you weigh all these options. When you're about to embark on something, you think about what are the pros and the cons of it, right? Take vacation, for instance. You know you're going to have fun on vacation. You know you're going to enjoy yourself on vacation, right? So you take the challenges of getting up early, packing, preparing for that vacation, because you know the rewards are going to be relaxation, enjoyment, seeing new things, whatever you're going on vacation for. That's the reward. And if you can't create that reward in your mind of what this new venture you're wanting to go about doing, if you can't anticipate the rewards of that, say you're starting a new business venture, you want to start something new and you just can't get your feet off the ground. Well, what would happen? Make more money? Educate yourself? Get a new degree? Whatever. It's always going to have a benefit. Will it have a con as well? Those are the pros. What do they have a con? Yeah, absolutely. It may take hours of work. It may take effort to go out and post yourself or promote yourself. But again, they all have those limiting beliefs that are tied to it. The anterior insula and anterior cingulate cortex evaluate the perceived physical or mental cost of the task versus the benefits to decide if it's worth it. When you carry those limiting beliefs and they're front and center, it's like an e-brake that stops you in your tracks. Prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for logical thinking and self-esteem, who you believe you are, that's where that sits. When you break down the chemical processes that happen in the physical brain, Your body also responds to it. It's not just up here. Your body responds to it. When you're about to embark on something and you're scared, nervous, your heart will race, your mouth will dry up, you may get a headache, stomach ache. Physical attributes definitely follow the mental. Everything that we go through, created in the mind, follows through to the body, to the physical body. All of your bodies, your mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, and your light body. Everything gets affected of what you think and what you believe you are. Now we come into this earth plane as souls inhabiting this body. And studies have shown between the ages of 5 and 7, anywhere prior to that, we remember who we are. We remember who our soul is. And when that happens, things are great. You don't have any limiting beliefs. You're not programmed. It's about 5 to 7 years old, studies show, you start to adapt to your surroundings, to what people are saying about you and to you. You start realizing this is the way to do it because my mom or dad or teacher or whatever told me this is the way to do it. Because that's what they were taught and that's what they believe based on who told them that. But as we get older, we start to see the evidence doesn't add up. We start to use our brain to figure out new solutions and new ways of doing things. But if we're still stuck in those limiting beliefs and those limiting patterns, those ideas may not come. You may think about it, but you won't follow through on it because you'll just automatically assume I'm going to fail because I was told this way. So I shouldn't even try it that way because I don't want to fail, because then if I fail, that's just more evidence that I'm not good enough and I'm not smart enough and I can't accomplish anything. So we keep ourselves in that loop, that pattern of I want, yet I'm not. Because from age 7, 5 to 7, you were made to believe you're not good enough. You're not smart enough. And a lot of those are based off of who's telling you this and their limiting beliefs. So they're just passing the basket and expecting you to pull from it and keep it. But I'm here to tell you, you can change that. Those limiting beliefs that you've lived with and adapted to are ruining your life. Especially if it's putting the e-brake on your motivation to change your life, to move forward in your life, and to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in your life. Because we all have the same opportunities. How come some take it and some don't? It's their upbringing, it's their beliefs, the programming that they were taught. If you grew up in a household that struggled, if you grew up financially or emotionally, you're probably going to have some beliefs around money is difficult, money is hard to come by, it's scarce, I'll never be a millionaire because my parents weren't. Says who? That's what they believed. And that's what they programmed into you. But you don't have to accept that program. Because there's people out there that are highly successful who grew up in dysfunctional families, who grew up not having anything, but they didn't believe all of that. They took a different turn. They asked those important questions. Says who? Why can't I? I'm worth it. Grew up in a family that is emotionally void. They don't show emotion. They don't talk about their emotions. They don't say I love you. They don't hug. They're cold. Chances are you're going to be in relationships that fail, that are loveless. Not everybody, but chances are, because you believe love is not something that comes easy. So where does these limiting beliefs live, and how do you change them? When the limiting beliefs are stored in the hippocampus. It stores specific factual memories of past events or failures that originally formed belief. The amygdala, the emotional stamp. This area stores the intense emotional charge like fear, shame, rejection tied to those memories. The hippocampus is your archive. The ventromedial prefrontal cortex is where the concept happens, the concept room happens. This is the primary region where your self-schema lives. It connects the memories from the hippocampus and the emotions from the amygdala to form a generalized rule about who you are. It's your capacity to create, to deal. That's where those limiting beliefs live. I mean, I'm not a brainiac here, a neurosurgeon or anything, but we all know we have many different parts of our brain that do different things. So there's triggers, right? As Joe Dispenza speaks of, firing and wiring of neurons in our brain. They all work together. It's a neural pathway. When something gets deposited, it gets processed, it gets kept, it gets stored, it gets called back upon for certain things. It can be very useful, but it can also be very harmful in stopping you from doing things. And what you think is what you create. If you think you're a failure, you'll create your failures. If you think you're successful, you'll create success, which goes back to those beliefs. How do you change them? Understanding them. When you're going to do this work, it's very, very important to understand the mechanisms behind all of that. As I was saying, you know, the parts of the brain, yes, I have notes, that where they're stored. When we have an idea, it creates dopamine. The prefrontal cortex frames the narrative, responsible for your logical thinking, who you are. And when you hold those limiting beliefs in the forefront, that's your stop mechanism. And this part of the brain treats it as an absolute fact. And it projects to you, it's like you're having a conversation, it projects to you prediction of failure, signaling the rest of your brain is a waste of time to even move forward with this, with what you want to do. It's like it's controlling you. The VTA and the nucleus accumbens choke out that dopamine. Everything that you anticipated that would happen as a result of this idea, this goal, this thought, requiring the dopamine to move forward, is halted. Because your prefrontal cortex already decided it's a waste of time. The ventral tegmental area puts a stop on that dopamine spike from reaching you. So you lose your motivation. You have conflicts going on in your brain, but you also have free will. And you have free will to choose differently. You have the free will to say to your brain, where is this coming from? Who is saying all this? It sounds like me, sounds like my voice, but that's not me. That's not the me I want to be. The me I want to be is successful with this motivated thought and action plan that I want to encounter. You can reprogram that. You can take away the thought that it's not worth it to do it. You can take that away. You can stop that anytime you want. But if you believe that you don't have the power to be able to do that, you're calling back in those limiting beliefs. But again, I ask you, think back on a time where your mind tried to talk you out of something that you knew for fact would be beneficial, successful, profitable. Any of those rewards, and you still did it anyway. You have evidence in your past files. I can guarantee you. You have evidence. Recall them up so that you can bring back the motivation, so that you can follow through with the ideas and the thoughts that you know in your heart and your soul will benefit you and sometimes others. Because sometimes if you're doing work that is calling upon for other people to participate in, like me, I, do LightBody Mentoring, which is calling back your soul, minus all of those limiting beliefs. When you connect with that soul, you don't have those beliefs. Because now you're going from pre 5 to 7 years old back. Everything else that happened after that is just your soul having experiences and learning. And if you understand that, then that is evidence of the mind twisting things, programmings, you can allow to be reprogrammed. Your soul knew it was going to come in to this world and it was going to have these experiences because it already created it. Your soul doesn't have any e-brake. It doesn't have the human brain with all its parts and all its functions and all its adaptabilities and all of that. It just lives from the heart. So when you can separate true reality and misperceived beliefs, change your life. Because that's living from the soul. When you want to do something, ask your soul, ask your heart, tap into your heart and ask, is this what I truly, really, how do I feel about this? Is this what I truly, really want to do? How do I feel about this? If you feel you want to sing it from the rooftops, you want everybody to know, and that's soul-led. You're not tapping into those beliefs. You're not listening to the brain talk you out of something that you really want to do. You've had a dream. You want to write a book. Why haven't you? Because you heard it's hard? Maybe. You heard not good with spelling. You're not good with sentences and compiling all that up. You don't have to be. There's a person called an editor that can take care of all that for you. They're the ones that are the experts in the writing, composition, spelling, all of that. You can have somebody edit. All you have to do is type away. And if you can't type, learn how to type. Or you can do speech. You can dictate through your phone, for goodness sake. And they can write it out. Will it cost you some money? Maybe. But just think of how much you could earn from people buying your book, what it can bring to people. Because you are an expert in something. You just don't believe it. We all are. We all have our gifts. We all have our expertise. And it's kind of our duty to share it with the world. When we get something and we understand it, share it. Even if it's, did you know that 1 + 1 is 2? Have you known that? I didn't know that. I just found that out. Well, secret, everybody knows that. Not everybody, though. Most. But we learned that. We don't sit there and question, is 1 + 1 really 2? We see the evidence. We've learned the programming of adding. You take one number and another number, put it together. How many you got? If I have one hand, how many hands do I have? 2. Oh, sorry, 3. 2. Maybe one day we'll have 3 hands. Who knows? But yes, we see the evidence there. So what I'm getting at is we're an evidence-based species. We need to see the proof. But what if the proof is misled? You wanting to do something, your limiting belief is saying you're going to fail at it. There's no proof. Just because you might have started something in the past and never finished it, there could be other reasons for that. You lost interest. Something happened in your life where you just couldn't pick it up again. I don't know, you wanted to learn to play the guitar. You only went to a couple lessons and you never finished the lessons. So would I say you can apply for, a band to be a national recording artist? I don't know. But there's evidence that states, let me back up. There's no evidence that states you're a bad guitar player. And there's no evidence to state that you're a failure. You might have chose, I don't like this. I'm not going to continue. But you go back to that belief of, I started those lessons and I never finished them. See, I don't complete anything. You're just allowing the brain to talk you out of it. How about we try to motivate our brain to talk us into things, to support us in our ventures, in what we want to do? I'm sure you've all heard that, well, I already spoke of it a little bit, but our programming, right? We get programmed throughout our life to believe the things that others believed. And we were too young to make our own deception of whether we agreed with it or not. But as we age and get older and learn and get wiser, we question. Be careful who you question about it, because they may have the same belief that you did, and they may agree with you. When you trust the universe to show you evidence, the other side of that, another possibility, do more experiments. Ask bigger questions and ask the right people. Ask the universe to show you the right people to support your question for your highest good. I do soul card readings, and sometimes clients will ask a question, and I'll intuitively know they really believe it. And 90% of the time, the cards speak why they shouldn't believe it. It's a little different. You're tapping into your soul, and you're tapping into a higher consciousness, which we all have. It's learning to tap into that higher consciousness that's going to help you along the way. So when you really want to know the answer to something, you have it. You're just not asking the right answers, right questions to get the right answers for your soul. So how do you break this loop of limiting beliefs and stepping forward with confidence and conviction that what you want to do will happen? You must target both, the top down and the bottom up. Top down is your cognitive predictions, beliefs. And the bottom up is your physical sensations of the nervous system. As I said earlier, your body feels the answers when you ask a question. Your body feels the emotions when you have an idea. I want to write a book. Oh, my heart opens up. I feel excited. You probably just saw my eyes light up too. When we say those things, we can understand the body. But when I say, I'm not a good author, I'm not a good writer, I don't have what it takes to sit down and write. It's going to take a long time. I just don't have that time. Who will ever read it? I'm not good enough. You know, I'm not a so-and-so who's already on the New York Times bestseller. What do you think those people said to themselves before they wrote their first book? They might have said the same things, but they did it anyway because they rewired their programming. And they told their body, no. Because when you say those things, it's like putting poison in your body. When you can vomit out that poison and get yourself excited for it, look for the evidence. Say it's the book, say it's writing. Write a story. Post it on social media. Print it. Pass it out to people. You read this? Tell me what you think. I am 100% sure people are going to come back and say, wow, that was wonderful. That was amazing. I didn't know you could write like that. Then you could say, neither did I. But you have to go with that and believe. You're not doing that to look for evidence that you're not good. You're doing this to look for evidence that it is possible and you can do it. To cancel out those limiting beliefs. So it's a both and thing. It's not an or. It's not the brain or the body. It's and, because they both go hand in hand. The mind controls the body and the body controls the mind. You have to do the audit of your past. When you do get a limiting belief that pops up, ask if it's true. What is the evidence? I'm not a good writer. Where's the evidence? I can learn. And ask, is it true? And you have to go back and catalog all the rewards you got in your life. You played soccer in school. You scored how many goals? You won how many games? Your brain and your body had to do both of those. It wasn't just your body. It wasn't just your ability to run fast and to control the ball with your foot. Because who was controlling the ball with your foot? Your brain, telling your body what to do. Get those pieces of evidence that you were able to do these things. Hold those in a file. Post them all over the place. Post them on your room. Put them all over your wall. Evidence that you went against limiting beliefs that you couldn't, shouldn't, weren't good enough, weren't smart enough, weren't capable enough. Post those all over. That you did do something and you did succeed. Even if it's one thing, it's still proof. And if you still struggle and say it's a matter of how to do this, how to write a book, ask. Ask somebody who has already written a book. How did you do it? What were the steps? Can you teach me? Can you help me? And not for nothing, but there's always the good old reliable Google or ChatGPT or one of those platforms that you can type in how to write a book. There's also pen and paper. That's how they used to do it. Get a notebook, start writing. Get your ideas down. It doesn't have to be as difficult as you're thinking it's going to be because of your limiting beliefs telling you It's difficult, so don't even bother. Set a goal. If you're preempted to believe failure first, and what is the word fail? First attempt in learning. We are always learning. We never are smarty pants. We never know everything. We are constantly learning every single day. That's how we grow. So take a small task and do it. Learn it. Start. Little steps. Just take the first action. Then you may need to do some somatic work. You may need to do some body work. Because that limiting belief is going to fight you. You're going to feel it physically. You're going to feel it in your body. Breath work. That's a big one. It's free. It's simple. You can do it anywhere. You ever get called into the principal's office or the boss's office and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to get in trouble. What did I do? They didn't like my work. I'm going to get fired. The first thing you think of, probably most of you. Get all anxious, you cold sweat, your stomach, your throat tightens up. Oh my God, your heart's racing. You're just, oh, what's going to happen? And you go in there and you receive an award or you get a promotion, you get a raise. But because of those limiting beliefs, it sent you down that spiral of, oh no, this can't be good. Because you have no confidence in yourself. And because you allowed that part of your brain to spiral you without stopping. Hand on your heart. Taking some deep breaths. Regulating that system, that breath work, creates the neural pathways. The brain doesn't function without breath. Hold it. Hold the exhale. Because when you're doing that, you're shifting the dynamics because your brain thinks in, out, in, out, in, out. And when you mess with that brain and go, and you don't exhale, the brain's going, oh my God, what's going on? So now you just shifted your brain to thinking you're going to suffocate. You got to breathe. You got to breathe. But you're focusing on that breath. You have control. You took back your control with the breath. Grounding. Nothing helps better than grounding yourself. Whether it's on a mat, whether it's at the beach, whether it's out in nature, whether it's just barefoot in your backyard or your front yard. Connecting with Mother Earth. You're shifting the thoughts from what it was to, oh, the sand feels so good on my feet. Thinking, feel it between my toes. Or this grass is so cool and it's so soft. Oh, I really feel Mother Earth. Any of those things completely shifts your thought process. And it knows you're supported because you're standing there. That is your support. If you can't stand, then you don't support your body. But you're standing there supporting your physical body, and your mind shifts to that. If you do feel tense and tight and nervous and anxious, get up and go for a walk. Start doing some jumps, jumping jacks, whatever. Do something physical to interrupt that thought process. I've had experiences in my life where I got news or something, and the first thing I wanted to do was walk. If I'm upset, I go for a walk or I go for a swim because it shifts my body function. It shifts my composure to movement instead of still, where everything can settle in the physical body. When you're moving, nothing can sit still because now your brain's focusing on moving your arms, moving your feet, all of that. And let out sighs while you're doing that breath work. Making a noise that you can hear back. You're focusing on the noise now. You're listening to the noise. Did you ever try to fall asleep and there's a noise, like a loud music outside or a loud car or your faucet dripping or smoke detector beeping or your partner snoring? How easy is it to fall asleep with that? It's not. Because you're focusing on it. But if you quiet the noise, now you can relax. Your nervous system can calm down. See how that works? You can definitely shift when you want to. I'd like you all to comment on one limiting belief that you've carried your whole life, but you've recently found evidence that it's not true. Evidence to state that everything you believed about that belief is false. Put it in the comments. I would love to hear that. I would love to know what you've found. Because we all have it. We all have it. You think you're not worthy of love, yet you have so many people who love you around you. People calling you up, people saying, I love you. You have a wonderful partner. But you let everything else cloud that, like fogged, is a story you tell yourself from those limiting beliefs. And one cool thing that if you are completely aware of everything around you, if you ever doubt your worthiness, your justification in this world, be aware for one day, even 2 hours. Watch your phone, watch your social media, watch when you go out somewheres. Watch how people compliment you or greet you, speak to you. There's evidence all around you because the universe supports you every way. So if you go out and say, universe, show me how much I'm loved. Show me how worthy I am. You're going to get people calling you, even if they're spam phone calls. The universe sends messages. God, like they say, God works in mysterious ways. So does the universe. You're going to get phone calls asking you to do something, even if it's a spam. I get them all the time, and they're spam. And one of the best ones I love, because I'm not immune to this either. I question my worth all the time, but I look at the evidence to prove that's wrong. I get calls all the time saying that your business is not visible, you're not being seen. Yeah, I know that's false. And I also know it's a spam because I searched it. But that's the universe talking to you, testing you. Do you believe that? No, I don't. Because there's many people that know my business. Many people, my clients, everybody, there's evidence that backs up my business is out there, is evident. It is clear. It is there. It is purposeful. It is successful. And why? Because I took that step from motivation to make it possible. And you can too. So, if you're struggling still, I hope this video helps you. But if you are still struggling, feel free to reach out. My LightBody Mentoring sessions, soul card readings, are all available in person and Zoom, online. Try it out for yourself. Because I don't just speak this, I live it. And then I share it with you. So my trials and tribulations are your benefit because I've learned. And I hope and I pray that every thought and every goal and every idea that you have in your brain gets fulfilled successfully, abundantly, and shows you that reward that you are worthy, you are loved, you are intelligent. Because we all are. And I wish you all a soul-led life. And when you connect to that soul, everything's possible. Because your soul doesn't set you up for failure. So, I have one other ask. Please, please subscribe to this channel so that this content can keep coming out, reaching far and wide. Share it with your friends, comment, like it, and don't forget to hit the bell so that you're notified when a new video comes up. And I wish you all a blessed day. So appreciate it. Thank you.